Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. This is another Thanksgiving or holiday themed video, and in this one we're doing a loaded sweet potato casserole. So the first step is going to be just to rinse off all of your potatoes. The recipe calls for 3 pounds, so I'm going to go ahead and clean these and then get them into some water to boil. I'm going to kind of adapt this recipe to my own liking because in the recipe they said you should chop them up and put the diced potatoes in the water and boil it that way, but that's just an extra step and it's extra work and I don't want to do it, so I'm just going to boil them whole. The last potato, so I was able to get all 3 pounds into this pot, so I'm happy about that. That's a blessing. So now I'm going to let them go ahead and boil until they're fork tender. So here are our finished sweet potatoes. They are tender. So I'm going to take the skin off of these and then pop them into a bowl and we can go to next steps. So since I don't want to wait for them to cool off, I'm just going to take, you can take a spoon, you can take a fork, whatever you want, and just use it to kind of loosen the skin up on the potato. And that way you can get it off without having to wait for it to cool. There we go. Into the bowl. Okay, so we got our sweet potatoes peeled, and now I'm going to pull out my hand mixer just because these sweet potatoes have strings. You can probably see some of them, like right there, and I don't want those in my finished product. So I'm going to use the hand mixer because it will, as little attachments spin inside the mixture, they're going to kind of grab those strings while they're going through it, and all the strings will end up wrapped around these. So that's what I want. I don't want the strings to be in the finished product. So now I'm going to start to add in all the stuff that's going to make this delicious. So I'm going to do a half stick of butter. And this butter is at room temperature, so it's already ready to go. A cup of brown sugar. It was lightly packed. About a half cup of milk. And I'm using 2%. Some vanilla extract. Some nutmeg, maybe about a 1/4 teaspoon, some cinnamon, probably gonna do like a full teaspoon of cinnamon, and then just to bring all the flavors out, I'm gonna do probably about a half teaspoon of salt. So you can see that the strings are starting to stick to these mixing blades, and that's what you want. You don't want them to stay inside. So either it's going to chop them up, or the ones that are too big to chop is going to catch them. I went ahead and gave that a taste, and it's really, really good, but I'm going to add a little bit more vanilla. And I think I'm going to add a splash of lemon extract as well. Just a little bit. And I feel like it needs a little bit more creaminess, so I'm gonna add just a splash of heavy cream. Maybe like 2 to 3 tablespoons. And now it is perfect. It's so good. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop it into a baking dish. If you're using a glass baking dish, then you shouldn't have to grease it. But if you're using like a metal baking dish, then you probably want to, just in case it sticks. So now that we got this done, we're gonna go ahead and make the streusel topping. So I'm gonna set this to the side and then we can work on the streusel. So obviously I'm not prepared because I just ran out of brown sugar. So what I'm gonna do is just make some brown sugar real quick because I don't feel like running to the store. So all you need to make brown sugar is some sugar, some white sugar, and some molasses. You don't need that much molasses, maybe 1 to 2 tablespoons. And then you just need to mix these together until it forms brown sugar. I'm not gonna lie, this takes a minute. It's probably gonna take about 5 minutes. And I'm just kind of pressing them together. So I'm pressing the sugar down onto the molasses just to kind of combine them. So just because stirring is not enough force, so you kind of need to press a little bit. But you can already see that it's becoming brown sugar. So here we go. We got some light brown sugar, just like that. And if you want dark brown, you just need to add more molasses because it'll make it darker. So that is it. Now I'm gonna move on to making the streusel. So for the streusel, we need 1/3 cup of brown sugar. So here we go, I packed it in. We need 1/3 cup of flour. It also calls for some cinnamon and nutmeg. So here's the nutmeg. I don't want to do too much of that. Cinnamon. I also didn't want to do too much cinnamon since we put it in the potatoes themselves too. 3 tablespoons of butter. 1, 2, 3. And it's also calling for adding marshmallows at this stage, but I'm going to skip that just because I don't think that that is the best option. So I'm going to do something different. And I will show you as soon as I'm done getting this together. So all you do is take the fork and kind of smush everything in together until you get crumbles. Okay, so the strudel is done, and let me show you guys what I'm gonna do. So we know that the marshmallows look pretty on top, but they always kind of just melt and you don't really get anything out of them. You don't get the flavor of them. So what I did was bought some marshmallow fluff. And that way we can kind of layer the marshmallow fluff with the strudel, and then we can put the marshmallows, the actual marshmallows, on top so that they just look pretty at the end. And we don't have to worry about them actually flavoring it. So I'm gonna kind of dot this all over the top. I just feel like marshmallow fluff has so much more flavor than actual marshmallows, and it'll hold up better to the cooking process. So I'm going to use this entire container of the marshmallow fluff. I'm going to try to spread it a little bit, but I'm not going to disrupt it too much. I just want to make sure that pretty much all of it has some, so we don't have too many bare spots. But like I said, I'm not gonna do too much to it. So now that we're done with that, it's time to add the strudel on top. Oh, sorry, I was out of focus. I'm sorry, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this into a 350-degree oven just until it's warm all the way through and the streusel on top is completely done. I'm assuming that's probably gonna take about 30 minutes, and then I'll come back. This smells and looks so good. Oh my goodness. The strudel looks perfect. But we're still not done. So what we're gonna do is add some more marshmallows on top. Okay, so here we go. I placed the marshmallows kind of carefully because I wanted some of the streusel to still kind of peek through. I didn't want to cover it up completely. So I'm going to pop this in the oven under the broiler on low for probably about 2 minutes, and then I will show you guys what it looks like when it's done. So these were under the broiler for about 30 to 45 seconds. That went super fast, so make sure you keep your eye on them. But this is what it looks like. I honestly cannot wait to try this, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab a piece of it, and I want you guys to be able to see the inside. So you can see that it's holding up really well to slicing, and also it just looks so good. The part I'm most excited about trying, hands down, is this strudel. It looks so good. Oh my goodness. And it's nice and crunchy. It's like a little cookie on top. This tastes like sweet potato pie. And it's like the streusel is the crust. It's so good.
So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, then leave a like below, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.